Hello everybody, Michael here with Duet Justus. Welcome to today's video. Today we're covering an insanely important topic, at least to Jenny and I, and that is clean drinking water out on the road. We think it's going to be really helpful to you guys to share what our process was and what we're transforming in our process to make sure that we have clean drinking water no matter where we're at. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So to start out, I'm going to share with you guys how we would normally filter our water, at least how we did it during our first year of full-time RV living. So we would normally just go to a campground or fill up our freshwater tank using one of these. This is our Freshwater Hose, and it's drinking quality, lead-free. Make sure you get one of these, and this particular hose has been better than the original one that we had when we first started. We initially started with a white hose that we bought from Camping World, and we upgraded to this kinkless one, and it has been a major upgrade. We would highly recommend it if you have any issues with hose kinking. So that's a little tip for you there. But what we would normally do is we would take this hose, hook it up to the source, and then we would either hook it up into our city water hookup, or we would fill up our freshwater tank if we were going to be doing dry camping or boondocking. So when it came to hooking up to city water, either at a campground or maybe a friend or family member's house, the only way that we really had to filter our water was this pure water filter. And you can get this from most grocery stores. It's a basic water filter. It is definitely not the best, and it basically filters out chlorine taste, big particles, things like that. So again, it's not the best, but it is definitely better than nothing. When it came to boondocking or dry camping, though, we did have an additional filtration process that we retrofitted to fit our RV. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the RV and show you guys how we got that set up. So we are back here in the back bedroom of the RV, and as you can see, I'm underneath the bed where our freshwater tank is storing all of the fresh water that we can access while we're dry camping or boondocking. So the way this works is the water pump sucks the water out of the freshwater tank through this main line, and then it pushes the water through another filtration system that we've installed. And we kind of had to retrofit this system, but it's a Filtrete under the sink 3M water filter, and what it filters out is chlorine taste and odor, sand, sediment, rust, and soil. So again, it is not the best filter in the world, but it's better than nothing. From there, the water would either go to the shower or to the kitchen sink, and if we wanted to use the water for either drinking for ourselves or the dogs or cooking, we would again filter it through that pure water filter. So it would go through 2 filtration cycles if we were dry camping or boondocking, and only 1 filtration cycle if we were hooked up to city water. Okay, so that's pretty much how we filtered our water in the past. Now, just to summarize that really quick, we would use our drinking water safe hose to get water either to the city water hookup or to fill up our freshwater tank. And if we were accessing water from the city water connection, we would only be able to filter it once through our pure water filter. And if we were accessing it from our tank, our freshwater tank on board, we would be able to filter it twice, once through this Inline Filtrete filter that we installed under our bed, and then again through the pure water filter. Now, again, I'm going to mention that these are not the best filters to have, but they are without a doubt better than not having anything at all. So now that I've got that out of the way, let's talk about the first step we're going to take to improve our filtration system. Now, sorry, plane. I think there's an airport or something. Hold on one second. Okay, the plane is passed. I hope you can't hear that. There's an airport right next to us, so that's kind of funny. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing we are going to be doing, and we bought this Inline hose water filter that is going to be used to filter any water before it even gets to the RV. So no matter whether we're hooking up to city water or whether we're filling our freshwater tank, this thing is going to be able to filter out some stuff. Now, it's going to filter out very similar stuff to our other water filters because they're all carbon filters, but I think this one is a little bit better. And actually, you know, I've been meaning to tell you guys a little tip. I've been talking about filling up your freshwater tank, and we've had this issue with our older RV. I want to share this little tip with you about filling up your freshwater tank before we move forward, just so you guys can get a good idea of how to stop water from gushing out of your freshwater tanks. Okay guys, I'm here at an RV park and I'm going to show you a cool hack on filling up your freshwater tank. As you guys know, there are 2 ways you can hook up water to an RV. It's either through the city water hookup or through filling up the freshwater tank. Now, if you're hooked up to a city water hookup, you need a pressure regulator valve on the source end. And as you notice on some of these most of these pressure regulator valves, they'll have an arrow that points to the direction which the water is supposed to flow through them. So always hook it up at the source so that it reduces the pressure coming to your RV. Now, one of the ways we found this hack to filling up your freshwater tank is by not knowing that rule. We accidentally hooked up the water pressure regulator at the end of the water hose, not at the source of where the water was coming from. As you can see, we have our Campco water filter hooked up at the source, and before that we have our water pressure regulator hooked up. The reason you need the water pressure regulator on the Campco water filter is because that water filter can only handle so much pressure going through it. So always have a pressure regulator hooked onto your hose, no matter whether you're hooked up into city water or you're filling up your freshwater tank. So as the water comes up through the hose, you'll notice that there is a steady stream coming out of the hose. So if you were to hook up that hose to your freshwater inlet hole, you'll notice that sometimes it will gush out water. I know this is a design flaw because I've read this up on a lot of forums, and it's not just exclusive to our RV. So one way that I found out that really helps this is by attaching a water pressure regulator onto the end of the hose. So I had to buy an extra one of these because now we have this Campco water filter. So I have 2 water pressure regulators hooked up right now. And what I can do is I can hook this up into the water inlet hole. Now you'll notice when I have the water pressure regulator hooked up to the end of the hose, it changes the way the water comes out of the hose. And I think this really helps to let air escape from the tank when you're filling it up with water. Normally how a freshwater tank is supposed to work is water is supposed to go through the large inlet hole and air is supposed to come out of the smaller escape hole because you're displacing the air with water. Now, with the water pressure regulator on, you'll notice that it doesn't leak water, and it's because this air is allowed to escape through the bigger hole. At least that's my theory. Okay guys, I hope this tip helps you guys as much as it has helped us, and maybe makes your filling up of your freshwater tank a little less messy and maybe even a little quicker too. Now that we got that out of the way, let's jump to the main event, the main reason this video is here, and that's because we bought a second thing to improve our filtration process, and it's this guy, this beautiful piece of equipment right here. Not only is it good looking, but it is one of the best water filters and purifiers you can buy on the market. It is a Berkey water filter, and just a PS, we are not getting paid by Berkey to say this, nor did they send us this unit for free. We bought this full price on our own accord, and we're just sharing it with you because it is a game changer when it comes to clean drinking water. So this is a Travel Berkey that we bought, and it is going to be an awesome addition to our water filtration process. When we were researching water filters, this one popped up as one of the best that you can buy, and I'm going to flash up a screenshot right now that talks about basically just a few of the things that this thing is actually capable of. It removes a ridiculous amount of stuff and is capable of getting clean drinking water even if you poured pond water into this. So we're not going to set up this system today. We're actually going to be doing that when we get back into the RV, and we will have a detailed video on everything that this thing is capable of. Okay guys, that's going to give you a good idea of our new filtration process when we get back out in the RV soon. We hope you enjoyed this video and hope it was helpful to you guys. If it was, hit that like button down below. Also, drop us a comment. We'd love to hear how you guys filter your water. And that's going to do it for me. As always guys, I'll see you on the next video. We're here to tell you that water is super sketchy when you go into different parts of the country. If you know what we're talking about, hit us up in the comments below. We're not going to name any names, but Big Bend, Texas. Flint, Michigan.